Hello everybody. I just wanted to talk a little about all this insanity. I was just looking at some of the Russian stuff, and um, you know, I don't think a lot of people hate Russians. They try to point out that that people hate Russians. Um, I don't hate Russians. I don't hate real Ukrainians. I think this war is bullshit. And Christians are not called to Christians are not called to go out and kill others. And I also see all this, Christian terminology being used, and we'll just need to being used for making people go into war, like crusades and all that. Um, you Russians in Russia should really think deeply in regards of being sent to war. You know, uh, the Satanists in this world, whether the West or Russian leaders and all that, they love to have us kill each other. It doesn't matter if it's one side or the other side. They love having us kill each other. Now, you, whether you're Russian or Ukrainian or whatever nationality, are made in the image of the gods. As a Christian, we're not called to go out and butcher other people. We are called to stand on the truth and speak the truth about Jesus dying for the sins of the world once and for all. We're not told to take up the sword and go out and kill people and maybe be killed ourselves, trying to kill others. We are called to speak the truth, and we might be killed for that, but we're not told to go out and slaughter and butcher others and try to kill other people. And it's like, and get a ticket directly to heaven or whatnot. You gotta be kidding me. You have Orthodoxy in Russia and Ukraine and all that, and Orthodoxy is actually very close to Roman Catholicism, although you have the conflict between that as well. You can see in regards of the Ustashi, the Croatian Ustashi that was murdering the Orthodox Serbs. But there's really not much difference about those two. Both groups are worshipping the devil through stock and stones. It's one makes the cross one direction and the other makes the cross the other direction, and actually it's an upside cross. Um, I think the world leaders should gather themselves up in a room that is live recorded so everybody can look. All the world leaders are pretty much in the same boat. So we want to have transparency, and of course, we know that the Roman Catholics and the Roman agents and all that. So we want to have transparency in everything. But it's stupid, killing each other. And you have all these Russians now being sent to Ukraine for pretty much being butchered. And the Satanist loves it. And I'm sure Rome digs it as well, like Orthodox and Orthodox, and I'm sure it's not all Orthodox, right? But you have a good amount of Orthodox, right? So, of course, Orthodox was running with the devil as Roman Catholicism in regards of images and idols and icons and all that nonsense. The Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, lives in the children of Jehovah, and we are in the living gods, and we're told to speak the truth. I think it would be an awesome idea that the leaders went to the table to speak in regards to some peace talks, because this will a lot of people are getting killed. Lots of people are getting killed, and it's terrible, absolutely terrible. And when I hear things in regards from Russia, in regards to some of the things, and they say, well, we hate Russians and all that. I don't hate Russians. You know, um, I don't hate Russians, but I think it's so stupid. You know, it's a bloodbath. It's a disgusting bloodbath. It's stupid. This so-called military operation. Well, it's kind of Russians going into Ukraine, right? Um, it's just it's not good. It's not good in any way. And we can continue to butcher people on both sides. And of course the what do you call it? The powers to be loves it because they're Satanist and they believe that we are too many people anyway, and then they can further do all their wicked things. And of course, the weapon industry loves it as well, right? And we have to stop doing these things. It's stupid. Well, hello, Chris. Well, I'm not talking about any biblical thing at the moment. I'm just trying to send out a message. I guess no one will see it anyway, but it's stupid, all this disgusting war, and how many people needs to be further butchered. If we don't stop this war, it will just continue, and of course there's the possibility of stupidity of nuclear weapons. That's just, insane. But the possibility is there, right? How many will that kill, right? And already at the moment, people killing each other. It's just insanity, right? And then you have, then they're trying to mix this Christianity, so-called Christianity, into it. It's not Christianity. This Russian guy, Orthodox guy. It just sounds like the Roman stinking poop in Rome. In regards of getting whatever blessing and whatever, if you go to war for Russia and all that, it's just insane, absolutely insane. So I just wanted to let the Russians know that we don't hate Russians, or at least I don't hate the Russians. I just think it's you're going to so many of you Russians are going to be butchered. You're going to be sent to the front line, and you're going to be butchered. It's just stupid. Drop the weapons, pick up a Bible, and walk for Jesus and speak the truth. What is the best thing, to go to war to try to kill someone else made in the image of God, or stand for Jesus Christ and maybe get martyred? What is the best thing to do? Stand for some truth in this stinking world full of depravity, full of lies and deceptions. Your Russian leaders are as corrupt as the Western leaders. And they just try to play us against each other and all that. And while they take, the power from us and resources and all that, it's absolutely insanity. So, if anyone, kind of did some sanity, you would take all those leaders and get them in the same room, Putin and the Western leaders and all that, and live stream it, so everybody can see what is going on, so there's no secrets or anything, because, there has to be transparency, and so we could follow along, so we could see what was happening, so there's nothing, under the table or whatever it's called. How many needs to die? How many further needs to be killed? It's insanity. It's just, for what? For some piece of land? Oh well. Anyway, so that was just my thinking in regards to this. It's seeing the propaganda from both sides, right? It's propaganda from one side and the other side and all that. And of course, the Western world have locked down in regards of going into the mainstream propaganda channel from Russia in regards of RT.com, although you can access it anyway. But it's like, you know, we're not told to go out and kill people. If you're proclaiming yourself Christian, you're not told to go out and kill anyone. You're told to spread the good news of Jesus Christ dying once and for all for the sins of the world. And stop bowing in regards of idols and image. If anything, you should do some iconoclasm and destroy some of those images and pictures and all that. The Holy Spirit is not in those icons, okay? It's nonsense. It's idolatry. It's worshiping the devil when you do all these disgusting things in regards to those images. You should stand for truth, right? And follow the true light of the world. So, anyway, so by the way, Chris, when are you going to make the live stream? Is there a specific day, maybe for the Sabbath or something like that, that you have time in regards of maybe a talk or something like that? Anyway, if you just give me the timing and all that, I'll see if I can get on. Yeah, but yeah. It's just so sad to see, and then we have Ukraine is winning and all that, right? Yeah. Well, are we not losing? Because people are getting killed on both sides, and of course the worst, Russia is in a position of going badly, right? The bigger the chance of using something that can really damage. And of course, we've also seen the nuclear power plants being hit with shells and all that, right? So, a lot of things could go wrong. Do we want another nuclear disaster? Kind of not a good thing, right? Okay, let's see. A Sabbath is the only day I got time for, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do one this week or not. Okay. Well, anyway, just hit the word if you're going to do one, and I'll sort it out and all that. Regards to time zone and all that, is kind of different, right? So I guess probably not many Russians or Ukrainians will see this video anyway. I just no one wanna listen to peace talks, I guess. Just love looking at war, right? Oh, it's exciting to look to, and it's just and as far as I could understand from a video I saw yesterday, the Russians was just sending these new people into the field right on the front, and then they turned around, So the Ukrainians, the ones that the Ukrainians didn't kill. The Russians killed the Russians, Hey, just give me a break. It's just a bloodbath, and we know that the satanic powers love to do this. They love, in regards of Protestants getting Protestant butchered. I have a music book that is about Martin Luther's songs and all that, and that's one of the stories. Something I can't remember what it's called, but into his army, and that the Protestants was just put in the front. So I think it was the Mohammedans that just butchered them. I can't remember the exact details on it, but it's in the musician book. I actually also have it on my website for free. Now the notes is kind of, but there's some great history in it. I found it for free, and I think it is on my website, although I don't have a direct link for I do have the books anyway, but it's kind of not like I want it, but you can get access to it anyway. I just need, let's see here, pictures, Danish, quotes, no, oh, is it quotes? No, notes. I think it's in the notes. There's some PDF books. It's not perfect. The idea was that I wanted to make a thing for books. Here we have some of the books. Danish English in regards to Gothic text. Dano is in regards to Danish and Norway. It's pretty much the same as Norwegian or Danish. Danish is pretty much Norwegian in regards to text. In regards to Charles Chineke in Dano, as I called it. Let's see here, Dano. Dano. There's a lot of books I've fixed. History of Romanism by John Dowling, 1871. That was pretty good in regards of history. Fox's Book of Martyrs, but that was not the... Oh, here we go. English Luther Hymns, J.F. Lambert. The story is in that PDF somewhere. And that's around at the beginning of the Reformation, where you see Protestants getting into the army, apparently to show the German emperor or whatever I think it's called something, but to show that they were not against him. These Protestants went into the army and he put them in the front line to be butchered. And we see this other places where the powers to be put the Protestant Christians to the front so they get butchered, and they use war as a way to do the killing, Oh, it was just war, right? But we Christians are not called to go into war, We're called to speak the truth and maybe die, in regards to speaking the truth, but we're not called to go in and kill other people. So all these, proclaimed Christians that are going in and to kill other people, what Bible are you reading? It's like, what words of Jesus are you writing about, or reading in regards of, that was not what Yeshua said, He said to go out and tell people and make disciples, right? Not to, kill people if they didn't agree, that, judgment is coming later on the world, when everything is going total haywire. But anyway, Luther's hymns, J.F. Lambert, although the notes are not good, but there are other interesting things. I also have the Tears of Ireland, where you have pictures of a lot of the Roman Catholic maniac things that they did to Protestants and history in regards of it. The Child Book of Martyrs is in regards of English martyrs. Also has the history of Christians very early on in England, and there's not really any name for the group, but it talks about that a Roman Catholic came up there and converted some of the non-Christians to make them Roman Catholics, and when they couldn't convert the real Christians in England, the Roman Catholic made the new converts to Romanism to butcher those Christians. I don't know how much more information we have in regards to those Christians, but that is in the Child Books of Martyrs. Again, probably a lot of the information was probably burned, and forgotten. And then, of course, the Romanizers rewrite history, right? Let's see here. We also have Tileman's Book of Defenseless Martyrs from 1837. And I have a lot of other books and all that, but the idea was to make a web page that actually worked very nicely, but I haven't really fixed, I haven't sorted something out that actually... I do think I have like a PhD book thing here, if I bookshelf. But I haven't linked to it because it doesn't work like I want to yet, and it's some time since I worked on things, but I think it's in there. Yeah, well, it has the index of the whole website pretty much, so if you want to see how the website is fixed and all that, you can just go in there and all that. But it's in the book folder here. If you go into the I didn't fix it to only have the book folder yet, but this was the, well, it's still somewhat broken, but here you can see all the books that I have, and you can easily download them, although I can see there's some problems with the website. I'm not sure what, I don't remember having that issue. Yeah, English books, Danish books, Danish, Norwegian books and all that is there. The idea, of course, was to find all those goodies. I haven't read, I haven't read a good amount of the books. I need to still look into some of them to sort things out. There's a lot of things to read, a lot of things to research, and what I've been doing was to gather and try to find books, anti-Catholic books that have been suppressed, and why they have tried to remove things and all that. But I have a lot of PDFs as well that is not on the website yet. Of course, need to be sorting and all that. But time goes and all that. Lots of things to do. We have forgotten so much. Oh, by the way, here you can see the Russian channel here, RT.com, and it says stop. And I'm logged out from RT.com in regards to Russian propaganda. And I'm not saying that you have propaganda on one side and you have propaganda on the other side. That's just how it is. But it's sometimes when you get the other side as well, you can see that they're pretty much, they're liars. They're just, making us kill each other, and that's disgusting. Making the other side seem very evil, right? Of course, this is the free nation of things, right? You can't get any place. Just try the Pirate Bay as well, and it's an illegal website, so I'm not allowed to enter that as well. The thing is, in regards of torrent sites, is actually that you can share information outside the government, so they don't control the information flow. You can see, for example, on many of the platforms today, they control what we can post. We can't talk freely anymore. Facebook have blocked me for over 400 days since all this corona nonsense, which of course Putin is getting the fault for everything. It's hilarious. Well, it's not hilarious, but it's just disgusting. But everything, it's Putin's fault. What? So it's Putin's fault, all those weird things, the last couple of years. That was just Putin that locked down the nations and, wanted to pretty much force vaccinate people and lock down the swimming holes and forced people with masks if you wanted to buy things in shops and all that, and Nazi passport and all that. That was just Putin or what? It's just, that was the Western leaders that went satanic. And apparently people forget very easily what their leaders did to them, and they just continue on with it's a deeply satanic world we live in. Although all this evil did wake people up, some people at least. You still have most of the people following the devil in total blindness. But I saw some of those Russian sources, saying that, we hate Russians and all that. I don't hate Russians, and I know that a lot of other people don't hate Russians, It's the top game of the devil, where the leaders are, just throwing people into the grinding machine. And what is it? Is it like 300, 500,000 Russians that is now called and put into the field and all that for butchering? And, well, whether one side or the other side, it's just madness. And, of course, the possibility of nuclear weapons being used. Yeah. It's nonsense. It's just disgusting. But, whatever the case, in regards to things, the thing is still that it was Russia that entered Ukraine. So that's kind of, you can't really run away from that, It is Russia in going into Ukraine. Whatever excuse they want to do, that was the same thing with Hitler, and I guess it must have been Stalin in regards of going in and dividing a nation in the early beginnings, I guess, of World War II, So that's kind of, that was also some excuses in regards of if I recall correctly, that Hitler was talking about some persecutions of the Germans in that nation. I can't remember which nation it is, but in any case, was it Poland? No, no, I don't think it was. One of those nations where at the beginning, I can't remember the name. But the thing is, as far as I recall, it was the excuse was that there was persecution on Germans in that nation. So Germany and Russia divided the nation between them, and and took it over. One got one half of the country, and the other got the other half of the country. Which I still can't remember what country it was, but it seems like the same excuse for the Russians to go into Ukraine, right? Oh, the Nazis. There's Nazis in. Okay, well, there might be some Nazis, but that doesn't mean that every Ukraine is, just propaganda, It's just this, and making the other side, evil, right? And it's also interesting in regards to the propaganda being used, that they use Christianity, they use the Bible to make this cause a valid one. Yeah, it's just it's very sad. So anyway, if anyone listens in regards to Russia, Ukraine, or something like that, or maybe some world leaders, who knows? Probably not. But anyway, just talk about get together and talk some peace talk. Because as long as it goes on, we still have the possibility of a lot of people being killed. And if it goes nutty nuts, you never know, because these mad people, these Satanists, don't really care about people, So if they wanna, if they need to drop something, they might drop something that kills a lot of people, Suffering and why use all the effort for this nonsense, So many other bad things in the world that we could, and yet you want to kill each other. Yeah. Anyway, use the energy for that. Give me a break. So, yeah, I guess over in the U.S., I guess it's like, well, it's getting late, isn't it, Chris? Because in Denmark it's getting early, nearly in the morning. So I guess it must be like 10 o'clock over at the U.S. I guess he might not be there anymore. I guess that's not that much anyway in regards of the Bible, right? This primary was a thing in regards of it's like you have all these things in regard. Oh, see, and war, and it seems to be something that can stretch out for a long time if someone doesn't begin to talk to each other, and figure out some things, then you can just continue this. Of course, they like having it, because it's of course not the leaders that usually it's the poor people, right? The people at the bottom that is sent into war and takes a bullet for the nation, I'll tell you, I would never ever pick up a weapon to go out and kill other people, Why would I, in regards to this, tyrants in my own nation, The bloody Margrethe, in Denmark, so-called queen, is a filthy papist, it's all poopery all over, And we're butchering around 15,000 children in this nation every single year. 15,000 innocent children is butchered in this nation every single year. Should I pick up a weapon to protect this bullshit, No. So, they're all criminals. They're all criminals. They're all doing their own wicked thing, And I have a hard time understanding that we have Bibles in nearly every single household in Denmark, and we're butchering 15,000 children every single year. Now, of course, I know the U.S. also has this problem. A lot of places has this problem with butchering their own children. That's not Christian. To butcher your own children. Yeah, that's very sad. So let's see. Sabbath is the only day I got time for, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do one this week or not. Well, anyway, if he's going to do one this week, I would, love to come on. Oh my. So, it's getting late here, but it's just, you can find so much information, right, on this conflict, and it's so sad to see that people, how many, they go out and kill each other, ruining their own life, young people, that is strong people, right, strong, healthy people going to go out and maybe ruin the rest of their life, or maybe even lose their very life. If you're going to lose your life, then do it for Christ and not for these Satanists. Again, Jesus never told us to go out and kill other people. He told us to stand for truth. Like, for example, speak the truth to the Mohammedans, speak the truth to the Roman Catholics, speak the truth to the Orthodox, atheists, Hindus, Buddhists, and so forward. We're pretty much the ones that is going to be butchered and killed. We shouldn't be the ones that actually goes out and do the butchering and killing. In regards to judgment, of course, that will be future when Christ returns and says enough is enough, right? And judge the world. So, and set up his kingdom and all that. But we Christians are called to be the salt of the earth, right? So, maybe I shouldn't speak about these subjects. I just think it's stupid, So, like, think about it. If it's 500,000 Russians being sent out to be butchered, Yeah. Why would you give your life for that, To just be sent out for, they don't care about you. They just send you out and to be butchered, For what? For a special operation? A special operation? I guess that's a special operation, like, what, 500,000 lives being sent out to be butchered, Oh yeah, I guess that's a special operation. So, yeah, I think it's stupid. Absolutely stupid. What's interesting, one of those guys I actually saw, he made the, as far as I recall, the Freemason sign where he puts his hand into the jacket thing, like special, right? Puts the hand like this, right? And the half of the hand is covered and all that, like Napoleon and all that, right? Yeah, and we of course know that there's a lot of Satanists out there, and there's a lot of evil people in the world that wanna do the will of the devil. So anyway, Russians, if anyone is out there, I don't hate you. A lot of people don't hate you. It's just, there's all these people at the top that is just totally wicked. So if there's a way that you can get out of being, doing, is there, think about, just being taken by the state to be thrown into, waste of your life, right? A lot of Russians, as I understand it, has fled the country. I can understand why someone would flee a country in regard to that. to get away from this nonsense of going out and killing others. For what? Yeah, just for what? For what? For what? To go out and kill other people or getting killed, just, oh my. But yeah, they love war. They love war, that's for sure. These Satanists, the question is, why would we follow along with that nonsense? I have a lot of health issues myself, right? But I haven't, I'm not forced to go into a war. I'm pretty, on that level, pretty blessed. Not to be, that the government doesn't come and try to force you into this, disgusting, filthy war. And of course, the Anabaptist, and it also seems that Jehovah's Witnesses, although they deny the divinity of Jesus Christ, but don't want to take up arms and go and kill other people. Hey, way to go, that's the way to do it. In World War II, we have a story of Anabaptists in the U.S., and they were the U.S. Army was trying to get these people to, and they didn't want to. So the two Anabaptists, I can't remember which group, if they were Mennonites or I think they might have been Mennonites, but anyway, Hutterites, Mennonites, Amish, something of that nature, right? And these two young people stood up, and they froze to death. The U.S. Army killed these two people, but by this, the U.S. Army did not want to continue to try to make these people, go to war. So it worked. We have a story from Germany as well, an Anabaptist as well, who was allowed to then go home. They were trying to get people to, and he ended up standing. He didn't go forward when his name was entered, and he continued to stand there, and it ended up that the German officer or whatever, the German soldier said to him, "We don't want your kind anyway. We don't need your kind," and all that. And apparently he was allowed to just walk home again. I guess the soldier might have, thought that, or the officer or whatever, might have understood how much difficulty, and how much energy can be used to try to make someone try to, and know that this is, whatever, we don't have time for this, right? So it seems like that was also one of the reasons why the Jehovah's Witnesses was put in camps and all that. They didn't want to take up arms, as far as I read today. Yeah. Although I don't agree with the Jehovah's Witnesses denying Yeshua as Jehovah, that's pretty much the same thing that the Jews didn't. They also rejected Yeshua as and executed him for blasphemy. Anyway, so it must be difficult to be a Russian, to be forced by the government to these things, and the Ukrainians as well, to go up and fight, I wouldn't do it. Doesn't matter which side and all that. I would not pick up a weapon to go out and kill other people. Are you insane? Why would I do that? Why would I pick up something? And if anything, I would need to go out and preach, preach about Jesus, That's what we need. We need truth. We need light. We need to stop murdering each other. Would be a pretty good start, wouldn't it? How many people have been killed already in this stupid war, Too many. And of course, all these abortions. We have our own war in the Western nations as well. Absolutely disgusting. How nations, the Western world and Protestant nations, interestingly enough, of course, Roman Catholics seems to be able to actually fight against it. Although Roman Catholicism, of course, is the devil's system, and yet, but of course, they don't want Protestants, too many Protestants around, right? So it's good to promote abortion in regards of Protestant nations, right? And make it legal to kill your own child, right? And of course, they have infiltrated Protestant nations on so many levels, so we don't even know our history anymore. We don't even know what a Protestant is anymore. We don't even know who the Antichrist is. So I just, the three biggest Protestant nations in the a little before 1900, if I recall correctly, was the U.S., England, and Germany. Yeah, we got a lot of butchering in regards to those nations as well, didn't we? Yeah, but the thing is, what is a Protestant? Because again, Germany, there might be a lot of Protestants, but are they really Protestants anymore? And if a Protestant isn't Protestant, it's very easy to join up with Roman Catholicism, and that is what happened in World War II. In regards to the Nazis, Nazism is Roman Catholicism. If you go on Gap, which is a Roman Catholic platform, there's Nazis there. Because Nazism goes hand in hand with Roman Catholicism. And there's a lot of Jew hatred on the platform as well. A lot of lies, a lot of slick deceptions, and other nonsense. And I have a profile there. Although it's not like it, but I have a profile. But you get to see, how a lot of the things connect together. Hitler was a good Roman Catholic, so were a lot of the Nazis, the higher grade Nazis, were Roman Catholics. And because the Protestants didn't know who the Antichrist is anymore, they took part in this movement. And that can easily happen again. So, because you have all this unrighteousness and all this filth and all that from the other side, right? And then Christians ends up joining up with Roman Catholicism because they seem to have a lot of the truth, right? It's just a satanic deception to mislead you. It's just disgusting. Of course, the Protestant nations, England, I think have butchered around 5 million children registered since 1973. In Denmark, we have nearly 1 million registered since 1973. And then, of course, you have a huge number in the US as well in regards of abortion, murder on the innocent. Of course, you have had this, in the US, they have moved back on these things, Also, one of the things that I see in regards to Russia, talking about the West, is in regards of all this homosexuality, sodomite thing and all that. This was not something that was normal in my days of youth. Now it all of a sudden became a normal thing in the West. It's utterly garbage, of course. So I can understand that view from the Russian side. It is sodomy. And this is something that the West is promoting. These Satanists are promoting homosexuality and all that. It's absolutely disgusting. And this was not something that was normal before, and it's not biblical either. Although it might still be a little cheap shot to use to totally defame or whatever the Western world, but it is true. All this sodomy thing shouldn't be done, and shouldn't be promoted either. And yet you have churches so-called marrying 2 men and 2 women. It's absolutely disgusting. But there are issues on both sides. It doesn't matter if it's Russian or Ukraine or Denmark or whatever. That's evil everywhere, and we're bad people. We're all bad people. We all do evil things, and we all need Jesus Christ. We all need to turn around and look to Him, and follow Christ. And you don't see Christ when He was here. You don't see Him going around killing people, do you? Of course, there are other places and other times and all that, like the future judgment and all that. We also have some things in the scriptures in the past, before Christ was made flesh in the Virgin. Because there is something called righteousness and unrighteousness, something that is called law obedience, opposite lawlessness. So, there's something that is called good and something called bad, right? And that's how it is in this world. But we are called to follow Christ, right? And just speak the truth. I don't see many people coming on anyway, and I guess I don't have much else to say. No one wants to listen to me anyway, I guess, in regards of things. But really, the smart decision here, I think, would be to have the leaders that is fixed in this conflict, on a live stream so everybody can follow along. We don't want any dark meetings or anything like that. No, we want the people to see what is happening at the meeting. We don't want it to be outside. We want to see if things are going as it should, right? So we, the people, can see what these, high-level Satanists are saying to each other, right? So we at least can because we shouldn't trust them. It doesn't matter if it's Putin or what's he called? Can't even remember. But all these leaders, well, we should never trust them. They're usually working for the devil. They're part of this Roman Empire. And of course, this Roman Empire is the head of the Roman Empire is the Antichrist. And who's the Antichrist? Well, the Roman Caesar. Well, who's that? Well, the great stinking poop, in Rome. If we should be concerned about anything, we should be concerned about the Antichrist that is found in Rome, and stand for the truth and begin to go back to the festivals found in the Bible. That is the festivals of Jehovah. Keep the Sabbath, which is the 7th day of the week, so we get the blessing, and read the scriptures, and be careful of Roman Pharisee Pope Paulus I, so we are not headed into lawlessness and begin to go in the right direction. That's what we should do. We have lost so much truth because we have a tendency to listen to the devil all the time and be misled by the devil. And we really should begin to really do something about it, because when we don't do anything about it, and you people that are strong, right, that has youth and all that, if you can just get on the right path and begin to stand up for the truth, so we can have some strong people standing as great lights in this world to proclaim truth. Instead of all this darkness that we have all around us. It's a worldwide Roman Empire that is working. One of these quotes from one of these Roman Catholics talking about, that they will see the enemy, crushing each other and all that. So furthering Roman Catholicism and restoring the Vatican and the papacy and all that nonsense, and of course the papacy is the Antichrist. Everybody knew that in the past, that the papacy is the Antichrist, and Putin goes to the Antichrist, right? A lot of people goes to the Antichrist. all the world leaders, the U.S. presidents, Putin, the Danish prime minister and royals and all that, the EU leaders and all that, so-called presidents and all that, they all go to the Antichrist to show their what do you call it? Not obedience. Well, what's it called? Show their. I can't remember, but in any case, the papacy, the guy in the seat of the devil, he's crowned with 3 crowns as the father of princes and kings. Okay, he is the highest office in the world. In the satanic pyramid, he's the number 1. Okay. And then underneath him is the Jesuits. And underneath the Jesuits, you have the rest, okay? It's all, fixing out in different groups, different groups under many names, working for the devil. So, it's a devilish system, and it's all over the world. And you have Roman agents all over the world, and they just love doing the devil's work. And we should not trust the governments, because the governments are usually out to kill us. When the governments goes Roman Catholic, they usually go nutty nuts. You have so many different governments and history where they kill their own people. It's not even another nation that kills, they kill their own. Nations kill their own. It's disgusting, but... So we should kind of not trust the government at all, That's kind of a wise thing not to, to not trust the government blindly and just follow along with all the bullshit that they're giving us. Now, of course, we are getting concentrated for a one world government, a one world Roman government. And we know biblical, there will be a time in regards to the number of the beast, or the name of the beast. And the number is the number 666. And we won't be able to sell or buy anything if we don't have the number. Everything, all the pieces are pretty much getting to the point where and things can go very, very, very quickly, So, yeah. So then we have, where we are going to either decide very, very, it's going to, be sharpening up in some sense, right? To the point where we have to choose, we have to choose. That's a point where people are really, that's the last, are they going to go with the beast, or are they going to go with God, Are they going to take the number of the beast, So, and yeah, we pretty much are pretty much getting to the point where everything could, yeah, biblically come to the point where we have a one world order with a one world ruler, a one world religion where there's one high priest. That would be the papacy, A one world ruler, the papacy, a one world religion with the high satanic priest in regards to the papacy, Yeah. In physical form. Now the Jesuits has been working for 500 years to gather the whole world for the Pope, and they have been very effective, because we don't even know the history anymore. We don't even know who the Antichrist is. We don't know who even Jesus is anymore. We don't know anything pretty much. We just become totally ignorant. And they feed us garbage and more garbage and more garbage. We go from the mainstream to the alternative box, but we need to get out of the alternative box as well, because the alternative box still misleads and leads you into a lot of occult, new age bullshit of the devil. You need to get out of all of that, and you need to follow Jesus Christ and figure out who he is and who Antichrist is and who the fake Christians is. You can call yourself Christian all day, all week, all year, and then turn around and worship the devil. Oh, you can be great in words, right? Oh, I'm a Christian, right? And then bow down to the devil at the very sentence you say it, right? All those idols, all those images, that's idolatry. You can put Christian labels on it and all that, but it's Satanism. Oh, I'm Christian, and then bow down to an idol, a statue, an image, a man, the Antichrist, a cookie, bread. Yeah. Anyway, Jesus died once and for all. Once and for all for the sins of the world. Yeshua is the living bread that was broken and his wine poured out once and for all. He's not a, whatever bread thing, made by the hands of man. Christ is the living bread. He was the Passover lamb that was slain once and for all. Oh my, I just don't understand why people want to run away, run with all these lies. And I found out that Orthodox love their idols and images as much as the Roman Catholics love their stinking church, It's like potato. Even if the Roman Catholics and the Orthodox have conflict between each other and all that, it's still, still worshiping the devil, You have the conflict in Orthodoxy already in history. You can go read it. And those with the images and icons and all that, they won out. But it still doesn't make it okay, because it's still worshiping the devil. And again, it doesn't matter if you baptize it in some sense, as the Roman Catholics love baptizing satanic bullshit, right? Just fix a Christian label on it and all that, and then everything is good, apparently. It's still Satanism. It's still diabolical nonsense. And, yeah. Anyway, if you're someone in Ukraine or Russia or whatnot, don't go and pick up a weapon, If you're going to do something, pick up the Bible and figure out who Jesus Christ is. Read the Gospel of John. That's a good start. If you don't know who Jesus Christ is and really want the first, sources, go to the Gospel of John and find out who Jesus is. And of course, his Hebrew name is Yeshua. Go find out who Yeshua is, and then figure out who the Antichrist is. I already pretty much told you. Yeshua is God Almighty Jehovah. He's God Almighty in the flesh. The Antichrist is the papacy. So now, of course, your job, if you don't know, is to figure out if I'm telling the truth or not. Because a lot of people will put you in all kinds of direction. It took me years and years and years to get to this point. But you will need to figure out if I'm telling the truth and make it your own. And when you know, you know. And no one can take it from you. At least it's a lot harder to take it away when you actually have figured it out for yourself. Of course, a lot of people will say, well, the Antichrist is here and there and whatever and all that. But all the Protestants knew where the Antichrist was and who he is. And he's still here. Yeah, the Antichrist is not in the future. He's already here. Of course, there will be, further future Antichrist in that position. And there will be a last one and all that. But the seat of the papacy
is the beast of the number 666. That's the little horn, the little Roman horn who thinks to change times and laws and who persecutes the saints. And the saints who keep God and protect the commandments of Jehovah and the testimony of Yeshua. Um, so, if you're in Ukraine or Russia and try to see if you can just, get away from this war in regards of, it's just nonsense, and just get on with the truth and speak it and share it to others, the world needs Christ. The world needs the truth, and there's a lot of darkness out there. And why pick up weapons and go and butcher others, Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. A lot of these people are just, whether you are on the Ukraine side or the Russian side, these, people are at the bottom being sent into these wars. It's just, they're just fixed by the government and thrown out there for being butchered, Oh, we're too many people. No, we're not. It's satanic lie, Oh, but yeah, the Satanists love those stinking lies and make issues for us. We also have the Great Reset. Of course, everything is connected with Romanism. We have all those actors out in the world just doing the work of the devil and the Antichrist in Rome. So, the papacy is put up as the man of peace. No, 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 no. The man in the seat of the devil is the Antichrist. And now you know. Or if, now you at least been told, and now you need to figure if I'm telling you the truth. But you see, people in the past knew the Bible and they knew prophecy. And sure, we're not perfect. We can always have our own things and all that. But every single Protestant knew who the Antichrist was. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't be Protestant. What is a Protestant? Someone who protests. Protest who? The Antichrist. So, you people in Russia, Ukraine and all that, get a Bible. If you don't have a Bible, get one. And be careful about Roman Pharisee Pope Paulus the First, because he leads into lawlessness. Now, he does have a lot of good things to say as well, but he also has leaven. He has things that are true, but he mixes it in with a lot of leaven. So just be careful of Paulus, okay? Don't just read the letters of Paulus, okay? Focus on Jesus. Put weight on Jesus. We're called to be disciples of Jesus, okay? And then read the whole Bible. Grow in the Bible, Grow in the Bible. Grow in the Bible. If you want, in regards of prophecy, the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation is wonderful books to reread and get wisdom and knowledge in regards of what is going on in the world, and where you can find the Antichrist and so forward. But grow every single day. The two most important things is to know who Jesus Christ is, because there's many fake editions out there. And then the second, to know who the Antichrist is, because there's many fake editions out there as well. And the importance to know who the Antichrist is thereby to not be deceived by the devil and his wicked system of wolves in sheep clothing that looks like something it's not, that proclaims it's something that it's not. They proclaim themselves Christians. A lot of people proclaim themselves Christians, right? And yet they turn around in the very same sentence and worship the devil. Don't do that, okay? If you have in regards of images and icons, those and statues and all, just throw them out, burn them, all this nonsense and all that. Just get rid of it. The only thing you need is Jesus Christ. Okay? That's the only one you need. You don't need all that other garbage. Okay? So, anyway, I guess that's all for me. I guess probably no one. Well, I guess there's not that many that actually gets the. So, but if any Ukrainians or Russians out there or whatnot, just throw the gun away. You don't, just get a Bible instead of this nonsense. And just go out and kill each other. It's just a waste of life. And think about it. You're sent out in the world to take another life, right? Going out and killing people, is that really the way to, and killing each other, it's madhouse. Rather teach the truth about Jesus Christ. Yeah. Anyway, may Jehovah be with you, and Yeshua, a most precious pearl, and the spirit of truth be in us all. Amen. I think I'm done for now. Take care, all of you, and stand on truth. Stand on truth. Yeah, I don't think the war will end with this, but one can only hope, right? So much suffering in this world, and death and destruction, and it's an evil world, very evil. Anyway, take care.